Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Here we will talk about why the Suez Canal is so important, who built the Suez Canal and when. A different route which is 1 week longer than the Suez Canal could be hugely expensive for the owner of ships waiting to transit the canal. The canal is the world's longest without locks, which connect bodies of water at different altitudes. The Suez Crisis was a theme in Season 2, Episode 1 of The Crown. The Netflix series Evergiven is one of the world's largest container ships about the length of the Empire State Building. So this is the Spark Ahmed, your channel host, and you're watching Fat Burner. So let's get started. The 120-mile long artificial waterway known as the Suez Canal has been a potential flashpoint for geopolitical conflict since it opened in 1869. Now the canal, a vital international shipping passage, is in the news for a different reason. A quarter-mile-long Japanese-owned container ship en route from China to Europe has been grounded in the canal for days, blocking more than 100 vessels and sending tremors through the wall of maritime commerce. Where is the Suez Canal? The canal is in Egypt, connecting Port Said on the Mediterranean Sea to the Indian Ocean via the southern Egyptian city of Suez on the Red Sea. The passage enables more direct shipping between Europe and Asia, eliminating the need to circumnavigate Africa and cutting voyage times by days or weeks. The canal is the world's longest without locks, which connect bodies of water at different altitudes. With no locks to interrupt traffic, the transit time from end to end averages about 13 to 15 hours. Now the question arises. Who built the Suez Canal and when? The canal, originally owned by French investor, was convinced when Egypt was under the control of Ottoman Empire in the mid-19th century. Construction began at the Port Said, and in early 1859 the excavations took 10 years and the project required an estimate of 0.5 million workers. According to the Suez Canal Authority, the Egyptian government agency that operates the waterway, 20,000 peasants were drafted every 10 months to help construct the project with excavation and poorly compensated labor. Political tumult in Egypt against the colonial powers of Britain and France slowed progress on the canal, and the final cost was roughly double the initial $50 million projected. Now you must be thinking that who controls the canal in today? The British powers that controlled the canal through the first two world wars withdrew forces there in 1956 after years of negotiations with Egypt. Effectively, authority to the Egyptian government led by President Gamal Abdel Nasser. What was the Suez Crisis that nearly led to war? The crisis began in 1956 when Egypt president nationalized the canal after the British had departed. He took other steps that were deemed security threats by Israel and its Western allies, leading to a military intervention by Israeli, British, and French forces. The crisis briefly closed the canal and raised the risks of the Soviet Union and the United States. It ended in early 1957 under an agreement supervised in the United Nations, which sent its first peacekeeping force to the area. The outcome was seen as a triumph for Egyptian nationalism, but its legacy was an undercurrent in the Cold War. The Suez Crisis was also a theme in the Season 2, Episode 1 of The Crown, the unclaimed Netflix series about British royals, as the British Prime Minister at the time, Anthony Eden, struggled over how to respond. Now the question arises, has the canal ever been closed since then? Egypt closed the canal for nearly a decade after the 1967 Arab-Israeli War, when the waterway was basically a front line between Israeli and Egyptian military forces. 14 cargo ships, which became known as the Yellow Fleet, were trapped in the canal until it was reopened in 1975 by Nasser's successor, Anwar Sadat. A few accidental grounding of vessels have closed the canal since then. The most notable was a few days ago, the Evergreen ship that stuck in the canal. I hope you want more videos like this, so please share this to your family or friends. It will encourage us to do more. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned.